it is worth our time, and in fact is absolutely necessary, that we recognize not all definitions are equal. In fact, it is possible to have good definitions, and it is possible to have bad definitions. In order to create a good definition, there's only one thing that it necessarily has to fulfill as a definition, and that is, a definition that is good must be able to identify a thing from a group of not that thing. If a definition is unable to fulfill this rather basic task, then we either have an inaccurate definition, or we have a definition that is ineffective and requires refinement. In either case, the bad definition that would be caused as a result of failing this test is not something that we should be using. Because at the end of the day, a definition is designed to get us to understand what we're talking about. And if we don't understand what we're talking about, we have failed completely. To illustrate this as clearly as humanly possible, I want to run you through a thought experiment. So just have a think about this. Whether or not you're driving, whether or not you're watching the video, whether or not you're just listening to it, it's fine. Just have a think about this. On the screen in front of you at the moment, there is a series of geometric shapes. Now let's imagine that you have a small child sitting next to you, a child so small that they are only just beginning to move into kindergarten. It is your task to tell them what a triangle is. Now let's say I propose to you two potential definitions. Of course, you can make your own definition. I'm sure that there's probably some mathematicians out there that will pull their hair out at the lack of specifics, but they think they can make a better one. So please, go for it. Make a better definition. Point is, though, let's imagine that you've got these two. On one hand, you could tell the child that a triangle is a shape, a geometric shape that we can identify as a shape. Or you could tell them, on the other hand, that a triangle is a shape with three connected sides. Now, both of these answers are necessarily true. It's true that a triangle is a shape, and it is true that a triangle has three sides. But the applications of both are wildly different, which determine what is a good definition of a triangle and what is a bad definition of triangle. One with three sides can be easily differentiated, therefore you can go, oh, that's a triangle. Versus, if it's just a shape, well, so is a square, so is a pentagram, so is all the other shapes. There is no difference in that case. It fails to differentiate a triangle. Thus, when it gets down to it, the idea of defining it just as a shape simply cannot be accepted. In fact, we necessarily have to reject it outright because it's just not doing what we want it to do. It's as simple as that. And this process of what a definition is applicable in every way that we use definitions. So let's keep that in mind as we go further with this, because it's going to become very relevant in a second.